Okay, and the next part. Again, we're given replacements for variables on the first three, so I want to be on the replacement for variable side. Negative 4x plus xy, x equals negative 2, y equals negative 4. Make sure all your operators, you got times, plus, and times. Now parenthesize your variables, replace them with the given values. So negative 4, parentheses negative 2, plus parentheses negative 2 times negative 4. Okay, do you have any subtraction operators? Well, you got negative 4 times negative 2 plus negative 4 times negative 2. The word minus never came out of my mouth, so we're not fixing anything. Okay, execute. Parentheses can't do. Multiplication right there. Negative times a negative is a positive, that'd be 8. Negative times a negative, that's a positive, that'd be 8. And 8 plus 8 is 16. Okay, next problem. 3x minus y. X is negative 2, y is negative 4. So times and minus. Now empty those. Okay, so what do we have? 3 times negative 2 minus negative 4. I said minus, and there's a negative after it, so it's plus plus. Now I do my order of operations. Multiplication right there. Positive times a negative is a negative, and that'd be 6 plus positive 4. You can just put 4 if you want to. Addition, negative 6 plus 4. Remember, think number line. If I'm adding 4, I go 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Takes me to negative 2. Okay, we have 2 parentheses x plus 4 minus 6x, with x being equal to negative 3. So we got times there, plus, minus, times. Don't parenthesize that x, just put negative 3 where it's at. We'll put negative 3 here. 2 times parentheses negative 3 plus 4 minus 6 times negative 3. Okay, any minuses? 2 times negative 3 plus 4 minus 6. So that's going to be plus negative 6. Now I can go into my operations. Parentheses, yeah, we can simplify negative 3 plus 4. Negative 3 plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1. Okay. So we now have 2 times 1 plus negative 6 times negative 3. Multiplication, yep, right there and right there. So that's 2. Negative times a negative is a positive. 3 times 6 times 3 is 18. And 2 plus 18 is 20. And that is how we do it when we're given replacements. Now, we are not given replacements for the next 3. We need to simplify without the benefit of a replacement. Some of you are like, well, how do I do if I don't know x? You don't, okay? Make sure each variable has a coefficient number in the front. Since we can't put a number in for x, we got to make sure there's a net x number in front of it. So we need to put a 1 there, since there's not. Know all the operators, make sure they're visible. So negative 2 and 1, that's times. And then 1 and x, that's times. X and 7 is minus. Okay. Fix any minus operators, so right there, plus negative. And now I execute PMDA, but I got to take a different process, because in that parentheses, I can't simplify because I don't know what x is to times by 1. And then I can't add 1 and negative 7 because the 1 has an x, the negative 7 does not. So we can't do the parentheses. Multiplication, you can't take 1 times x, but you can always distribute that outside factor. Okay? So negative 2 times by 1x times by negative 7. So we take negative 2 times 1. You can multiply numbers when one has an x and the other one doesn't. You just can't add them, okay? You can multiply and divide when one number has an x, the other one doesn't. You can't add. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2x. Negative 2 times, that's 14. So you have negative 2x plus 14. And that's all the multiplication I'm able to do. There's no dividing and there's no adding. When that has an x, that one does not. Okay, next. 16x minus 4 divided by 2. Okay, make sure that variable has a number in front, 16. Know all the operations, so times x minus 4 and divide by 2. So, any subtraction operators? Yeah, right there. So plus negative on that. Now remember, this is in parentheses, so you do have a parentheses. You can't simplify it because you can't take 16 times x when you don't know x. You also can't add 16 to negative 4 when 16 has an x and negative 4 does not. So parentheses no good. You can't do the multiplication, 16 times x. You can do the division, okay? 2 divisions. 2 is your divisor. That comes second in both divisions. Then 16x, negative 4. It's similar to what I'm doing with the multiplication, just now I'm doing it with division. Okay, so that's 8 with a factor of x, and this is negative 2. So it's 8x plus negative 2. And we can't add because the 8's multiplied by x, the negative 2 is not. Okay, next up. Negative 3x plus 4y minus 8 plus 10x plus 4. Again, make sure each variable has a coefficient number connected to the front. Negative 3, 4, 10. Good. Know all the operators, make sure they're visible. So times, plus, times, minus, plus, times, and plus. Fixed subtraction operators. So we got negative 3 times x plus 4 times y minus 8. So plus negative 8 plus negative 10 times x plus 4. Okay, now execute the PMDA. No parentheses. You can't do any multiplication. There's multiplication, but you don't have a replacement for the variables. No division. Adding. Well, you've got more than one number that's multiplied by x, so you can add negative 3 plus 10. Okay? So I go to my number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 7. Okay, then let's talk about y. The only number I have multiplied by y is the 4, so that 4 just drops. And then I need to add these two numbers. I can add these two numbers because they're not multiplied by anything. They're both called constants. Negative 8 plus 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 4. And that problem's completed. Okay, next one. Square root of 49. What times itself is 49? If you don't know, use a calculator. It's 7. Square root of 17. That's going to be an irrational number. I just round to the integer. 4. Okay, now the next is the dreaded rectangle problem where you have to write a simplified expression for both the perimeter and the area. So I'm going to draw the rectangle here. 8x plus 3 and 5. Remember, fill out all your sides. So perimeter, area. Perimeter is adding all sides. area is taking our length times our width, okay? Okay, so I got two sides that say 8x plus 3. So 8x plus 3 plus 8x plus 3 plus 5 plus 5. It's that easy to write. Now, we're not given replacements, so we are simplifying it without replacements. Make sure each variable has a coefficient number in the front. So 8, 8. Good. Know all the operators, make sure they're visible. So 8 times x plus 3 plus 8 times x plus 3 plus 5 plus 5. Any subtraction? No. Okay. PMDA, parentheses, no. You can't multiply, you can't divide. Adding, well, I got two numbers multiplied by x. The 8 and the 8 makes 16. And then I have four numbers that are not multiplied by x. I add them all together. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 5 is 16. And that's simplified. Usually when you're simplifying without replacements, you should end up with two numbers, at least two, okay? One that has multiplied by a letter, one that's not. Sometimes two that are multiplied by letters and one that's not. Okay, area, length times width. Now, I would put the 5 first. I would put the one that's not as long first. I don't want to say not as long. The one that has only one number, the 5, and then the one that has two, one with an X, one not, I would put that separate, and then I simplify. Okay, parenthesize, or know your operations, okay, your X has an 8, so 5 and 8's times, 8 and X is times, X and 3's plus. Okay, any subtraction? Nope. Then do your PMDA. Okay, you can't simplify 5. You can't simplify here because you don't know x. Okay. Multiplication. Yes, I can't take 8 times x, but I can distribute my 5 then. So 5, 5, and I'm going to times that by 8x, not just 8, 8x, because 8 times x is 8x, and then times 3, which gives me 40x. 15. I think that's all she wrote because I don't divide and I can't add. There we have it. Okay, then word problems. Remember, if I don't give you units in bold, just solve it using one single step. A skydiver dives a total of 900 feet over a course of 10 minutes. Find the diver's rate of change in elevation, so feet per minute. Okay, so that's what you're finding when you're finding feet per minute is how many feet every single minute. When 1 minute passes, how many feet? So we have 900 feet, and we're going to divide that by the quantity of minutes, which is 10. That's 90, okay? 90 feet per minute. Okay, when I give you bold units, before we even start the problem, we're going to set up boxes and a table, okay? Okay, a skydiver is 3,200 feet above the ground before diving. When he dives, he goes down at a rate of 160 feet per second. Calculate his elevation after 12 seconds. So feet's the answer. So feet and seconds are the two units we're in the problem. Time is x, feet is y, and per second, feet per second. Feet per second is 160. Put times x because it goes down every second. Now we'll decide if that needs to be negative or positive here in a second. So seconds, feet. The independent variable, we always go 0, 1, 2 for now. And the feet we began at was 3,200. Then 1 second goes by and he's going down, so I would make that negative and then subtract 160, or plus negative 160. for 3,040. 2880. Okay, and then it keeps going for a long time. So now I make my equation. So negative 160 times x goes in the middle. That's called your slope or your rate of change. It's a number that you keep subtracting or adding. Now the first number you did that with was 3,200 plus equals y. So we have 3,200 plus negative 160 times x equals y. And in the problem we have 12 seconds. And I want to find how many feet he's going to be at 12 seconds. Okay, so x equals 12. So get that x out of there and put 12 in. So 3,200 plus negative 160 times 12. Now drop the equals y because the y is by itself. You have to do your times first. Negative 160 times 12, negative 1,920. Then you do the adding. 3,200 plus negative 1,920. I got 1,280. Okay.